Where's the meat? There was a commercial years ago where an old lady looked at a hamburger from some hamburger place and said, and it was such a small patty, she said, "Where's the meat?" Well, I think we're going to be saying that soon because meat prices are just going out of this world, and we're not going to be able to afford a whole quarter pounder. We're only going to be able to afford maybe an eighth a pounder if we're lucky. So here we are at foodinflation.news. Meat prices will continue to rise for the next 2 quarters, warns U.S. meat packer. And this is May 6th. CoBank, which provides financial services to cooperatives and agribusinesses, believes the elevated meat price will continue through the rest of 2022. I would imagine it's probably going to continue long past there. Cattle prices will go up. Beef prices will go up with them, said the head of Marfrig's operations in the U.S. But corporations like Marfrig are still earning less even as they continue to pass on added expenses to consumers. Their income fell by 61% last year. Wages are not rising in tandem with the cost of food, and anybody who has gone to buy food knows that. The average price of ground beef in the American grocery stores has risen by 18% compared to a year ago. Compared to last month, the price of red meat surged by 13.8%. CoBank noted that the American consumers will likely trade down at the meat case, opting to buy cheaper meat options like chicken. However, with the bird flu and everything, I don't think we're going to have much chicken there to buy. And they're going to eat less expensive cuts of red meat. And then the owner of Otto Minelli and Sons Prime Meat said the inflation crisis has forced him to raise prices between 5 and 10%. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture, their latest food outlook showed that grocery prices have increased at the fastest rate in 10 years. That's the fastest rate in 10 years. Retail grocery prices in March were 10% higher compared to the same time last year. And anyone who goes grocery shopping certainly knows that. And initially, they only expected it to go up between 1.5% and 2.5%. Restaurant prices are also predicted to increase by 5.5% to 6.5% this year. This would mark the third year in a row that all food prices would increase more than the 20-year average of 2.4%. The food products to be worst hit by the massive price increases will be beef, poultry, eggs, dairy, and fresh fruits. And then if we go over here to the Wall Street Journal, and the Wall Street Journal says Tyson food profits soar as meat prices climb. And I don't have a subscription, so I can't read it here, but we can read at least this part. The biggest U.S. meat processor by sales said it increased prices for beef an average of 23.8% over the 3 months ended April 2nd, while its chicken prices increased 14.4% and 10.8% for pork. And if we go over here, here's that same article, and this is on Axios, AXIOS.com. Tyson Foods reports soaring meat prices as inflation continues. And this was put up 3 hours ago. The average price change of selected Tyson food products. And here we go. This is quarter 2 in 2021 to quarter 2 2022. Beef has gone up 23.8%. Prepared foods, 15.9% from Tyson. Chicken, 14.4%, and pork, 10.8%. Meat prices continue to skyrocket in the first quarter. Driving the news, Tyson Foods reported Monday the average price of its products rose 17.6% in the quarter ending April 2nd compared with a year earlier. The big picture, the cost of labor and agricultural prices continue to fuel the spike. We saw continued inflation across the business, in some instances up 25% or more. Tyson CFO Stuart Glending said Monday. Notable examples were labor, feed ingredients, live cattle, lean hogs, and freight costs. So we've got Tyson raising prices. We've got all meat prices going up. We've got from Fox Business here, foxbusiness.com, meat prices soar as inflation hits U.S. shoppers. New York butcher says he has been forced to raise prices for meat. And if we go down here, price increases were widespread. Energy prices up 11% in March and 32% from last year. Gasoline, 48% more than it did last year, rising 18.3% in March. Food prices have climbed 8.8% higher over the year and 1% over the month. Largest increases in cereal and bakery products, 10%. Poultry, fish, and meat, 13.8%. Fresh fruits and vegetables, 8.1%. And eggs, 11.2%. The inflation data for April will be released next week. So as you're listening to me read all these statistics and telling you what you already know, that prices are going up for meat and for all grocery items, what does it mean? It means that you should be getting all the food that you can right now, because prices are just going to keep increasing at this rate, maybe even at a higher rate. You should be stocking up on as much food as you can right now, because prices are only going to go up in the long run. Now is the time to get everything you need for maybe the whole year if you could. Pack your freezer. If you think it's going to be a grid down, then buy canned meats or buy meat and can them yourself. Buy as much canned food as you can. If you buy dry food, rice, pasta, etc., beans, pack them in Mylar bags with an oxygen absorber. But get what you can now before it's too late, before the price just goes up so much that you won't be able to afford anything at all. So give us your comments below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.